live.
You're watching today. Today we have a new format for our short treks discussion. Hello, welcome back, audience, on a brand new, exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we're focused on Star Trek Discovery, and we are here to talk about the most recent Short Treks episode, The Escape Artists, starring and directed by, if I'm not mistaken, Rainn Wilson as Harcourt Fenton Mudd. I will do the episode summary unless you would like to, Sean, unless you have a strong like desire to do it.
I think that I've done enough episode summaries for one day.
Wow, he's still a little sore about our TNG moment. Just a little.
Well, I mean,
I apologize again.
Can I do the summary?
This could be interesting.
I'm just gonna read the friggin'
No, I'm kidding.
Memory Alpha.
I'm kidding. Yeah, right.
We're also joined by the Doctor, but he's only in observation mode. Although I suspect he will have an opinion or two to offer, and it would be
he'll
welcome.
have a rating.
He'll have
I cannot offer a rating. No, that would be
the Doctor's the wild card. I'll just say he's the wild card today in our discussion, or perhaps if there's a debate, which I don't think there will be, the moderator. The Short Trek episode, The Escape Artist, is about Harry Mudd and his terrible lot in life, where he keeps getting picked up by bounty hunters. Just he's got a bad name. And unfortunately, there's a bounty on him. The Federation is offering 100,000 credits, I think they say, for the capture and return of Harry Mudd, for, among other things, several counts of attempted murder, as well as penetration of a space whale, I think was one of the counts against him. And anyways, we see a montage of sequences or montages or both of Harry Mudd trying to escape these terrible situations where he's being captured. And it's very funny and entertaining, and we get to see him trying to manipulate all his bounty hunter captors. And the episode ends in a surprise when the Tellarite bounty hunter, who seems to be the main focus other than Harry Mudd, brings Harry to the USS Demilo, and it is revealed that, oh, guess what? You have an android fake Harry Mudd. That's not the real him. And we have a cargo hold filled with Harry Mudd androids who were also delivered to us just this week by other unsuspecting bounty hunters. So you've been duped. And then it shows Harry Mudd reveals himself as the source of the androids. He's been selling android copies of himself. Yes, I told you, it's really good. Or I don't know if I told you that. He's been selling android copies of himself to make money, so that he can collect a smaller reward. He offers himself for like 50,000 credits, so that these bounty hunters would sell him to the Federation for 100,000 credits. But meanwhile, he sold like 7 of them, so he's made tons of money. And that is that's it. I think that I got the summary right.
The episode is genuinely awesome. Right? This is what Short Trek should be. It's small, it's concise, it gets straight to the point. It has that moment where it frustrated me just a little bit, because I was thinking, Harry Mudd, the last time we saw him in Discovery, was off with Stella, his wife, or his wife to be, at least. He was supposed to go off to Stella's planet, and in this episode, you find him captured by a bounty hunter, and you're like, wait a minute. But then it turns out it's just an android version of him.
In fact, at the end, he's actually on the Duke ship at the end. I think something happened between season 1 of Discovery and this episode, which is kind of cool because it shows you what's going on, and it kind of fills in, but in a way that's entertaining, fun, and lighthearted, but also clever, because I did not suspect that ending.
Not at all. Not at all.
And it ties in beautifully with TOS, even though, of course, nothing else visually ties in beautifully with TOS. But story-wise, I think this was one of the best, like, weaving into TOS that they've done.
I agree. So do you understand what happened?
So this episode ties in with Mudd's planet then, right?
Mud's
Yes.
women.
Mud's
Yeah,
women.
Mud. Yeah.
I Mud, the episode I Mud.
I Mud. Okay,
Is
that's cool. Okay.
This is really cool because essentially I mean, it makes no sense that in the original series, like, he's capable of creating these androids that are so like perfect, etc., etc. Compared to like how we describe Data in TNG, right?
I mean, but they're not. I mean, they're not as perfect as Data, but yes.
But they're not as perfect.
Yeah.
But then it is fun because in this episode, you see that there's like precedent to him doing that because he's already created a whole bunch of androids that are just copies of him, and then he's selling them off, getting money from selling them off. He's disguised as a woman, by the way. So
yes.
like
he's
you never suspect it's him because like you have this bounty hunter in full woman armor with like the big breastplates and everything, and like a helmet, and there's a modified voice, and so you're thinking like she's the badass character, she's awesome, and it turns out it's just like Harry Mudd in disguise, selling off these other Harry Mudds, like these Harry Mudd copies, to other bounty hunters. It was really well executed, and it ties into original series really well. I don't know, I loved it.
Oh.
I'm normally on a discussion. I've been participating on Text Trek's post-episode discussions, but I was sick with flu, so I couldn't go on. I'm still actually recovering. I don't know if you can hear the congestion. I'm doing a good job. I'm trying to keep it. But anyways,
one of the Harry Mudd androids is wearing the blue.
Yeah, the classic Harry Mudd. Two of them are wearing
Harry Mudd.
Really?
outfits.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, actually. Anyways, on the Short Treks episode, he brought up a lot of good points like that as well, and I think that like what was one thing that they talked about is like the writer of this is the writer of the upcoming Star Trek animated
Mike
comedy.
McMahon.
So I thought like it was a really well, if they're dabbling and experimenting and showing different ways, like I don't mind this direction too much. Obviously not for a whole series, but I think one of the things that was brought up is that like it kind of gives me a little excitement to see what the Lower Decks cartoon is going to be like. And I'm going to mute myself while I blow my nose, gentlemen.
No, that's cool. I didn't realize it was going to tie into.
Okay, so it shows that Mike McMahon kind of like he knows this canon, right? But we all knew that because he's been writing those fake TNG season 8 plots, like comedy plots on Twitter for a while.
Yeah.
They even have a book and everything. So, but he knows about the original series. He knows about what's it called, the TNG. And I've even tweeted at him a few things like I want to see the Phylosians, which are erased in the animated series again. And he responded to that. So he knows about the animated series, the original series, Next Generation. He is a Star Trek fan, and so when they gave him the opportunity to write a Harry Mudd story, he didn't just go off and do his own thing. He really did tie it into who Harry Mudd is in the original series.
I have to say also, just from a personal perspective, I was the least interested or excited about this episode because I didn't really connect with Harry Mudd before this. Like, I didn't really care for the kind of insane version of him that was being presented.
You haven't watched The Office.
I have. I know Rainn Wilson.
You know Rainn Wilson, so how could you not be hyped for anything like?
But like, I wanted more. I wanted Rainn Wilson to do more of an interpretation of Harry Mudd and less of this like angry Rainn Wilson person that he usually does. And so I thought there was too much Rainn Wilson, perhaps, in Harry Mudd. And in this episode, I actually saw Harry Mudd. Like,
yes,
I actually have to say, like,
by the end
was what, like, yeah, but it was more along the lines of how I personally envision Harry Mudd.
It starts off with, so before it's revealed that you're following the android, like one of the android versions of Harry Mudd, you think that you're following the actual Harry Mudd.
Right.
And he is the kind of discovery Mudd that you have. He's like a kind of angry at Starfleet, angry at the Federation, kind of, you know, he almost like seems like an aggressive, warlike guy rather than just a
well,
I don't know.
He continues to
trying to sell his shit, right?
He continues to paint this interesting idea, which again is antithetical to what we later see in TOS, because I don't remember. I have to kind of really dive deep into TOS again, but I don't remember if Harry Mudd was like accusatory of the Federation in the original series in any way, or if that kind of like vibe ever came across. But Harry Mudd that we've met in Discovery is definitely like a hater. He thinks that the Federation, sits on these laurels and like of morals and things like that, but they're actually awful. Which is a running, there's a lot of interesting evidence for that even in TNG as we go through our discussions. But regardless, it's never from the perspective of Star Trek. We've always taken the Federation side. We've always taken Starfleet side, and here we have a character who is vehemently opposed to what the Federation represents. And then we get the idea that even among worlds of the Federation, what the Tellarites are at this point, if I'm not mistaken, you still have Tellarite. It's not like there's an end to poverty in all of the Federation, apparently, because this Tellarite's hustling to get money, and things still happen. Obviously, like one of the plot points.
There would be
that,
human bounty hunters as well.
No, I'm sure, but the fact that like there's bounty hunters among the worlds of the Federation is kind of like a new thing. Like, I don't know. I never thought of it before, and it's kind of interesting. It's to see another side. And it is more realistic.
This is the kind of scum that turns up at Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, this is where it started presenting itself. Star Trek changed completely with Deep Space Nine because of this exact same thing. I'm not saying it's new. I'm saying it is something that.
Okay,
I would argue that. I think the original show had a less pristine view of the Federation than Next Generation does. I think things are a little more perfect in Next Generation, because in the original show, obviously you had Harry Mudd to begin with. You had other scoundrels. You had these outposts where they were buying wives, the
Orion slave trade, which is never really mentioned in TNG, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, but like all of these okay, that's the interesting thing though. That's not Starfleet as such. They're just kind of like Federation citizens, because they are humans, but then they're living like on a Federation colony. But then I don't think that what they're doing is exactly legal, buying wives, because then like what's his name, Harry Mudd turns up and he's trying to like peddle these 3 wives, right?
Yeah.
In the first episode, and they're like old and dying, but he's like drugged them or used some sort of product to make them look young and beautiful, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
that's highly illegal. But I think that the purchasing of them is highly illegal as well.
Right.
Yes, it is.
I think that like, I guess when you do dive into the kind of like things that are going on, maybe there are these references, but the tone in Discovery and in these short treks is definitely way darker than Star Trek has ever been, in my opinion, anyways. But that's what was delightful about this episode, is that I think the tone shifted a little. There was a little bit more light than we're used to seeing. Of course, I'm still not pleased with a lot of the visuals, but that's just that's a very personal thing. I don't think Discovery is represented the way I would envision a retelling or a reimagining. Even if I were reimagining Star Trek, I wouldn't reimagine it this way.
But this wasn't bad, right? Okay, so
yeah,
first
this
thing,
wasn't bad.
Harry Mudd, the Harry Mudd that we see in the beginning, which turns out to be an android, at first is this kind of angry, frustrated Harry Mudd. And then when he's revealed to be an android, and then there's all the other androids, because the Federation ship that they roll up to they've already got all these fake Harry Mudds in storage. And that becomes very funny, because then you have like all of these like 6 or 7 Rainn Wilsons going all Pirates of the Caribbean 3. All they're all
sipping jippers on the beach somewhere.
They're all bugged out. They're all trying to say the same sentence. They're all trying to react the same way, because they're not perfected robots, right? They're kind of crappy.
Much in
that's lighter in tone, and it's funny, and it is more Harry Mudd, and that's when you see the Harry Mudd from the original series more than before. Regarding the sets and the visuals, I don't have as much complaints regarding this as I do with Discovery, because Discovery is a show on a Starfleet ship that's supposed to represent Starfleet ships that are basically like the Enterprise should be on the original series. Whereas
Right.
this is it's a bounty hunter ship. Harry Mudd is another bounty hunter ship. These guys are unaffiliated with the Starfleet. They can have any kind of design they want. The view screen on the bounty hunter ship is really small. They use like the window from Spock's quarters, apparently, as they recycle that set. So the view screen is very small, and it looks like the original series view screen because it is so small. And then when you think about it, it's not a window. It has to be a view screen, like a holo-generated screen, like we have in all of the rest of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the visuals were good in this one. I'm not too keen on how they represent the Tellarites. They got the tusks and everything. I don't know, but I thought that visually this episode works. It's very dark. I agree with that. They make everything
Fadrian
black. I mean, this ain't no Cloverfield. I don't know why they got to turn the lights down so much, but
I think Fadrian Text Trek's discussion said something about how the Tellarites have been redesigned a lot. They were even redesigned in Enterprise. Which design do you like the best?
I would argue that the Tellarites from Enterprise are not a redesign. They are how can I say this? They're an update. Because the Tellarites that are represented in the Tellarites that we see in the original series, the makeup is shit. All right, you get what they're going for, but the makeup is shit. And then in Enterprise, they take that and they do this exactly the same thing, but with good makeup. And so it looks like the same species. And then Discovery, they have this obsession with constantly revitalizing and rejuvenating all of the designs, and we have to do our own take and whatever. You don't have to do your own take. They're convinced that if they do something too similar to what was before, then they won't be. See, look at that. That's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm presenting for those of you.
That's the same thing, but
the Tellarites
done better, in my opinion.
This is weird.
And then if you
it comes up when you do, and then here's
and then if you click on that is a visual redesign.
And I don't know where this one
is
from. Enterprise, I guess.
Yeah, that's from Enterprise.
That's from Enterprise. Wait, how do they? What do they look like now?
They look like this.
They look like, yeah. Well,
they're more like wild boars.
That's a shit quality. Click on that. Yeah. Click on the one underneath that one. Click on the one underneath that.
Oh, here we go. This one. Okay.
Yeah, they look like that now.
Can you see it, Doctor?
Wow, they look more like.
Well, they look like dwarves or space pirates now.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
They've got all of these tusks.
They didn't have tusks before, though.
They didn't have tusks before.
No, they did. That's a new addition, which no one knows what to make of. Quite what to make of it.
They've redesigned. Okay, this is a redesign.
The noses are completely different as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. By the way, this is the actor, if I'm not mistaken. Here he's in the season 1 episode in the Mirror Universe, playing some kind of general or something like that in the Resistance or the Alliance or whatever they call themselves in Star Trek Discovery. And I don't have a clear picture of him from this, but it's the same actor playing.
Oh, is it really?
That's what I think. That's what we found out on IMDb or whatever.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
so I think that the design is too radical a change. I can get behind the Andorian redesign. I can see it. This is too radical a change for me. But then other than that, the rest of the short tricks is fine. And I mean, I can't. Okay, as much as I disapprove of Discovery doing all these radical designs, I can't disapprove of short tricks for keeping the same designs as Discovery. I mean, they at least have to be consistent with themselves, right?
Right.
So I can't complain about that. I mean, they use the same Tellarites as they have on the show, which is, I mean, that's good. But other than that, the story in itself is good. There's a reveal. It doesn't drag on for too long. This is I think this is one of the shortest short treks. It's like 13 minutes or 12 minutes long only.
Okay, I have a question though.
Ooh.
Okay.
The doctor looks.
I don't understand why they didn't release this one first. Honestly, if they wanted to hype people for short treks, they had to release this one first, not the shit, whatever like Runaway was.
Wow.
That was ass.
Strong feelings there. Anyways,
sorry,
what was your question,
was.
Doctor?
Well, now I have two questions. Now that you mentioned the release pattern of the short treks, which is what is the intention of the short treks? Is it meant to be is all this supposed to be somehow relevant to the second season, just like the Doctor Who mini episodes were supposed to be?
That's a question that I had, and
to...
I was originally told no, that they wouldn't tie in. However, the Saru episode, The Brightest Star, is definitely going to have some kind of connection to season 2 because they've shown snippets in the trailer that definitely look like they're connected to the Short Treks episode.
Okay, I don't think so. They're not connected. They're just using the same character.
We'll see. I don't know. We don't know.
Is in the short trek
I'm
and
just
in
saying
season 2, but that's just because
there's a strong implication, and I don't doubt that Harry Mudd's going to be back. I mean, is he supposed to not? He's definitely going to be in season 2 at some point. I have a feeling. So
I thought short treks would be that sometimes you have an idea. For example, the idea that they had for Bird Box, the movie, which everyone's talking about. Right? Sometimes you have an idea which isn't worthy of a movie. Which isn't worthy of a TV show, and that which isn't worthy of an entire episode, but you would like to expand on the idea just a little. So you use this out of the box, like this new format that you create. You say, hey, we don't have any timetable, we don't have any time schedule. We can release a 10 to 20-minute episode whenever we want, and boom. And then so there you go. And then in the same time, it serves as a way, like it's used as a way of expanding the Star Trek universe. You don't have to focus it on a Starfleet character. You don't have to focus it on like humans at all. You can just do like, we have an idea, right? There's like a floating fish in space and he needs to eat trees, but there are no trees in space. How does he survive? Boom. You make a 13-minute episode about that, right? And then I thought that's what it was going to be. But then they went and they did like one episode like that, which is Calypso, because that's about a guy 1,000 years in the future.
I like that.
That's the only one that did. And then all of the others are like characters from Discovery. We do Tilly, we do Saru, we do Harry Mudd, which is kind of strange because for a concept that was to me presented, or I thought of it as like we're going to think outside the box and do things that we can't even tie into our show. Like we have this idea, but it doesn't fit in Discovery. So we're going to do it separately. I thought that's what they were going to do. Instead, they're just like adding more to Discovery.
I thought that's what Discovery was going to be when I thought it was going to be an anthology show, and I was really excited about that. And so it already failed me.
It wasn't going to be an anthology show for very long. That idea didn't last long.
But I mean, they'd be wearing these uniforms. It would have been awesome. It's hopping around.
I understand CBS for refusing that in the first place because that would have been way too expensive. They would have had to build like a TNG complete set for like one season, and then rip it down, and then build an original series set for one season. Rip it down, build an Enterprise season series set. Like that would have
Lucas that I could have introduced them to, who knows how to film an entire movie. Without a single set being built. No, I mean, I know what you mean. It's a million times better when there's a real set. I'm not arguing with that. But I mean, there's shortcuts.
It makes more sense to do one show that takes place on one ship, at least for the beginning, right?
Right.
And then, but I understand why it wasn't a like financially.
For the same reason,
decisions.
I also got the impression that like this was kind of like a way to kind of, you know, and rightfully so, I guess, to keep people subscribing to their
there you go, and that that's what it's become, right? Originally,
right.
I thought it was going to be this. We have a lot of creative minds, and we're going to use these creative minds to expand on Star Trek by talking about like these out of the I don't know, these weird things that we can't expand on in the show. But then it turns out all it is just a way to keep people subscribed to CBS All Access while they wait for the next season of Discovery to arrive, because they release one a month, and you need to keep subscribed every month. And it's weird. They're marketing this really wrong. It's only on CBS All Access. It's not international. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this. It's more Trek. It just turns out that they released them in the very wrong order, because the fourth is the best, then it's the third, then it's the second, and the first.
But wouldn't you rather go out with a bang than like have to be disappointed at the last episode before?
I would have rather they only released one.
I hear. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I mean, like,
no, I get it.
I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be insulting, but sometimes things don't work out, right? Sometimes your favorite musician will make a song that is ass, right? It's just terrible. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes creatively you think something works, you think it works, and then it turns out it doesn't. All right. But what I don't understand is there's a lot of people working on Star Trek and working on Star Trek short treks and Discovery. Why did no one like just eventually say, like, have the guts to say this is boring and it makes no sense? Mm-hmm. And it finishes like completely dumb. Why are we releasing this? We need to rewrite the story, or we need to change it somehow, or whatever. Like, we wasted money on making this short treks. It's just a short treks. Let's make another one instead. Why did no one like pull the plug on this?
That brings us to our reoccurring segment on Starfleet Boy, which is Sean and I are for hire CBS. We'll bring coffee. We'll do all kinds of things. We don't have to have any kind of title or anything like that, but we're happy to work for you, and we will always give our honest opinion.
Which is an interesting point. I think short treks should be used as a way, because Star Trek used to bring in fan scripts.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about that, right? And then apparently it became kind of very difficult to deal with, because then you have all of these lawsuits and what have you. So I understand why that doesn't exist anymore. So now they have a team of writers that write their 13 episodes or so. Okay, I understand that. But short treks is different. Short treks is the perfect format, and it gives you the perfect opportunity to bring in people that have nothing to do with the industry, that don't know anything about writing, that just have creative minds and they have ideas. Bring in people that have ideas, that have this concept, and you can have writers be with them and like be the writers of the actual episode, but bring in people that have new ideas and that can help you expand Star Trek. It's the perfect, it's a concept and a format that doesn't exist yet. Try and make it unique instead of just making low-budget, short Discovery episodes.
I think we've definitely seen that there's been some shakeups and breakups over there. I mean, it's a very public, with Twitter and everything. We're like learning up to the minute news. Saudi Arabia is corrupt. Oh, and John Van Siders gets hired as Star Trek chief, right? So. Season 2 possibly we won't see all of his changes take effect there, because I think he didn't start it out right from the beginning. But I think that now
Alex Kurtzman?
No, but isn't it John Van Siders or something? Like, he's the new head of Star Trek. What's his title? And he's supposed to be
he's vice something, so he's not the head.
Oh, he's the new vice president of Star Trek. Let's look it up. Let's use the internet. Here we go.
But he's not in charge as such. The thing is, creatively, Alex Kurtzman is the showrunner of the TV universe that they're setting up. Alex Kurtzman is the one that has, he's got the get-go. He says yes or no to what's going on. But then it's his production company that's producing everything, so he's saying yes to everything he makes.
I'm willing to say that he'll definitely.
You're very silent, oh doctor.
Well,
you had a second question, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay. So this short trek takes place after the events of Discovery, which in and of themselves takes place, what is it, 10 years before
pretty
the
much
original series?
Okay, so, this episode takes place after probably episode 5 of Discovery, that's for sure. Okay. But it could take place at any point during Discovery.
Right. And then
Season 1.
also the previous one, The Brightest Star, took place way before Discovery, when Captain
At least
Georgia
10 years before.
was a lieutenant. Yeah.
So
And then the one before that takes place 1,000 years in the
Yeah.
future. And then the one right. So they're
But-
all over the map.
Okay. I'm just struck because when you guys told me about the androids, I was like, oh, okay, this is a tie-in to iMud. But iMud takes place
After.
much later. So then these are different androids, correct?
Yes, these are android copies of himself.
These are copies of himself. Rudimentary copies of himself.
Right, that are programmed to protest being arrested long enough and to convince you that it's the real Harry Mudd, so that you as a bounty hunter will take it to the Federation, and he's selling them himself. He's selling his own copies of himself.
Okay, the genius of the episode is in the details, because first of all, this Tellarite bounty hunter talks about the fact that Harry Mudd not only stole something from him,
but he also
made love to his sister, right? And the thing is, the Harry Mudd, he's talking to Harry Mudd, and Harry Mudd's like, I don't remember that. But you think he's lying. You think it's the real Harry Mudd lying, but it turns out it's not the real Harry Mudd lying.
It's
the
an android
that doesn't know what he's talking about.
And never
the
did
android
that.
The android doesn't know,
Right.
and so all he does is protest. And then this episode is segmented with like
other
arrests. You think it's past past arrests or past captures of the real Harry Mudd. What it is, it's just other Harry Mudd androids that have been captured. And what's funny is he's using the same arguments and he's saying the same sentences to every bounty hunter. So the way the episode is made is you think Harry Mudd just keeps on using the same lame excuses. That's not the case. It's just that the androids, you understand, are all programmed to say the same thing, protest in the same way. It is very well written. It is very well directed. This is Rainn Wilson's first, it's his directing debut. So I don't know how much he directed. I don't know how much he was hands-on.
Well done.
Usually they have someone help them.
Yeah.
But
well done, Rainn Wilson.
The episode is well made. You've been completely spoiled now. But I think it's good.
Spoiled the
really,
but he made the androids.
He made
it's not.
It would seem
not,
so.
It would seem so.
Implied.
Yeah, it's implied. Yeah.
Because at the end you see him take off his helmet. He's got his breast armor, but he takes off his helmet. It's revealed that it's Harry Mudd, and he's in his ship.
It could
he's got all these Harry Mudd. He's got all these Harry Mudd slaves, android slaves, like bringing him drink cocktails and building shit and stuff. And then you see the helmet that he wore in the Discovery episode. You see like little Easter eggs like that.
I mean, the androids could be building more androids for him. I mean, like it's Harry Mudd's totally the kind of character.
Then that's an iRobot situation, and you don't want that.
Well, but Harry Mudd's totally the kind of character that just looks for every opportunity. See, this is like the more crafty, funny, Harry Mudd. That the reason why I liked it so much is it reminds me of that of the Harry Mudd that we find later.
What is your problem, Doctor, with the fact that
I just now I need to rewatch iMud because I just want to see how it all ties in. Because my impression was that Mudd was somebody who took advantage of situations, but he himself was not very techy or he was the guy who just found object A and
it doesn't dispute that impression.
I
just need to rewatch the episode.
Yeah. It doesn't dispute that impression.
I am under the impression that in the iMud episode, he is only able to make or create androids because there was already a system in place on the planet that created androids.
Exactly.
All right? That's what I remember. But then I might be mistaken. If that's the case, then this makes this episode kind of weird because he's making the androids himself rather than discovering a planet that makes them later on.
But to be fair, there's nothing that says he made them himself. He could have.
That's the thing. This ship that he's in, which is a recycled Klingon ship from season 1, with a few extra nacelles that they've strapped onto it.
It's the Duke ship from season 1. It's the same. Like, remember, one of the things he's accused of is regicide, and he says regicide. He's only a Duke, right? So we get the impression.
I don't think that counts as regicide, by the way. A Duke.
No, I know, but that's what he's arguing. But
killing a baron or a lord. That's like those aren't regicides.
Okay, fine, but
an emperor is an emperor regicide.
But
an
his
emperor
father,
is bigger than a king, isn't it?
His father-in-law, the Duke, that's the same. I'm pretty sure I have to watch it again, but I'm pretty sure it's the same exact ship. So he's either somehow commandeered the ship or he has his own.
Wait a minute, you're talking about the ship that picks him up?
Yeah. At the end
it's a completely different ship. Totally different ship.
Let's find out.
It's absolutely different because the ship that you're talking about looks like a boat. This one looks like a spiky dildo. Or a pine cone.
That's not what I expected at all.
It's not the same ship. That's my point.
First of all, why would you even know what a spiky dildo looks like? First of all,
imagine a dildo with spikes, right? I mean,
why would that even be in your consciousness? Why would that come out? First of all, as a comparison item. First of all. And pine cone is the second thing you come up with, right? Like, that's not the first thing you come up with, it's the second one. That's the first question before any other question, and then after that,
I can provide no answer.
While you answer that question, I'll look up the ships online and we'll see for ourselves.
While the two of you argue over the ship, let me make a plug for this wonderful new book that I got for Christmas, which is from Eagle Moss. No, not Eagle Moss. Yes, Eagle Moss. Star Trek: Designing Starships, the Enterprise and Beyond. I recommend everyone get this book.
Right.
Emma got it for me Christmas.
It looks awesome.
And it has wonderful illustrations, pre-production sketches, and none of the ships in here looks like a spiky dildo. But
is it episode 7 or is it's episode 6? I think I said episode 5. No, it's episode. I'm looking up the Baron's ship, right? Okay, I'm trying to find it.
Was he a Baron?
Episode 7.
He's a
Duke. I don't know. He's like the father of Stella, his wife to be. His wife to be in Discovery, but his ex-wife in the original series. So we've never actually seen them married.
Anyways, he's horrible to Stella and her father, and I think that's the same ship.
It's not. You're wrong. History will prove me right.
Audience, this is what I usually call the resources of the internet. Audience, please comment below and let us know what you think. And
there'll be a Twitter poll.
Yes, actually, there is actually a current running for the next 4 days Twitter poll. Please go check it out. The question I asked, I'm going to ask it on the air because I think it's a fun question, Doctor, that you might be interested in. Here, let me pull it up here.
Do you have a website?
Me?
Yeah.
Starfleetboy.com, Doctor. It's a little behind. It's not up to date.
Is that where the Twitter poll is?
No, it's on Twitter.
Oh, it's on Twitter. Okay.
Doctor. Get your platform. So what I wrote, the question I posed, and I'll give you the results so far is, I currently watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine on Netflix. However, if CBS All Access would release a remastered version episodically, say once a month, I would totally switch to watching it there. Do you feel the same? So my idea is, like, don't remaster it all at once. Take your fucking time and just release it like once a month, like a new episode, and that would keep people coming back. And it's DS9 remastered. There we go.
I don't think, but as much as it's amazing, I don't think that time is the problem. I think it's just the cost of it, and even
cost comes down with time. Like if you
are you sure about that? Really?
If you only have 2 animators as opposed to 10, which you need to do it in, like, let's say a week.
The father of his wife is a Baron. Baron Grimes.
Baron Grimes. So Starfleet Boy is wrong again. We'll have to look it up. But anyways, tell us if the ship is the same, if you think it is, if it actually is, if anyone's done the research or went on that tip. But that's what I thought. And then just so you know, 61% of people agree that yes, they would switch from Netflix to CBS All Access if they would release a remastered, episodically premiering version of Deep Space Nine. 18% say no, Doctor. 12% say screw you, CBS. And 9% say DS9 is on Netflix. So 9% of people didn't even know Star Trek DS9 is on Netflix. So
okay, so I want you to
results.
look. I want you to open the chat and look up what I've written.
Oh, I'm okay. Where? Oh, in our chat.
That is the name of the ship of the Baron.
Wow.
The festoon.
Right? Okay,
Wow.
so that's the Baron's ship, right?
Wow.
You have a picture of the festoon, which means what is it, like a
I don't know.
a
It sounds like
chain or a garland of flowers? I think is what a festoon is, according to dictionary.com.
Flowers. Flowers. Oh, jeez.
How did you find that
I'm
out?
seeing an image right here of the festoon.
Let me see if I can.
There you go. Okay, can you share an image of the festoon?
Oh, yeah,
I got
sure.
it.
Please.
You got it?
I think I've got it too. And you know
Okay.
what?
Sun Memory Alpha. yeah.
That ship is absolutely not.
Starfleet boy is wrong again.
That ship was absolutely. Can you share it on screen
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up
for the
Hold
world
on.
to see?
All right, but we need to be fully sure. We need to see the.
Well, I'm trying to find the other
Oh,
one.
God,
I found
to
one.
be
I
fully
found one
sure.
already. Well, come on. I'm 100% fully sure that I'm right.
Yes, I do think you're right. Based on this new telemetry, new old telemetry. Hold on, we're posting it right now. All right, here's the rear of the festoon. There it is.
I'm not even sure that's the rear. I'm pretty sure that's the front, isn't it? I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
It's
actually,
essentially
you're
a boat. It's like a boat,
right.
but
With
in
like
space.
yeah. Sorry, red lights make me think of the rear for some reason.
It looks just like a garland of flowers.
That's the festoon. All right, so you're right because it does look like
The other ship doesn't look like that at all.
It's true. The other one does look like a prickly dildo.
Wow.
It does.
There you go.
In fact, until we find out the name, we're calling the USS prickly dildo.
Did they kit smash like? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. Okay,
it looks like
they kit smashed the one in the short treks, the one that we haven't seen.
Okay,
that's for sure.
I found it.
Oh yes, show me.
All right, it looks
the prickly dildo.
It looks the prickly dildo.
It's not at all the same ship.
It's not even remotely the same ship as the festoon.
No, look at that ship. Right.
All I could do is blame my flu that I was under duress.
What that is a kit bash with it's a million Discovery nacelles attached to a Klingon dildo ship. Because that's one of the Klingon ship. Like if you were to look at the Eagle Moss Discovery collection, Discovery ships, one of the Klingon ships is that exact spiky thing in the middle.
Do you think that was an homage, intentional to kit bashing, guys?
I don't know why they would do that when they have the power to CG.
I mean, no. I mean, I'm saying,
but these are not models, so.
Right? It's
yeah. That's the thing. They're CGing
the generated equivalent of kit bashing. They're taking other CG models and kind of taking things from them, and so it's a virtual version of it.
Are they just trying to like insinuate that he modified a Klingon ship or something?
Maybe. Unclear.
Or unclear.
Unclear. That's all we can say. All right, I think it's time to give ratings, and I don't recall what I gave the other three at this moment, but I definitely give this one
probably wrong ratings.
I give this one a 7
Okay.
out of 10 stars.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'll give it a 7.5.
Nice. Wow, you liked it a little more than I did.
I'll give it an 8.
A rare occurrence. Wow,
I changed my rating. I'll give it an 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we have a first on Starfleet, boy.
Enjoyed this episode. I think it was great. I love Rainn Wilson. He gets bonus points for being Rainn Wilson. It was good. I'll watch it again because I'm gonna do my review,
which we're all looking forward to.
I'll be accused of being paid by CBS because I enjoy the show. Well, because I enjoyed this episode. But then I'm accused of being like a warmonger hater when I dislike an episode. So whatever.
You're learning an important lesson in life, Trek on the Tube or Sean, which is you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. So just do. I don't know. Those
do okay.
I don't know what that was. That was Starfleet Boy Wisdom.
That leads to that statement leads to crime, doesn't it?
No, I'm not in no way. In no way on Star. We're PG
keeping with Harry Mudd.
Okay, I think that's enough.
My goodness, accused of perpetuating crime on my show. Is this the death of accuracy, or what is it? Are we now murdering accuracy? Which is one of the lines in the episode.
That wasn't a funny line. I didn't enjoy that line. I'm sorry.
Any thoughts based on our discussion, Doctor? Anything before we sign off?
For your Twitter poll, I put screw you, CBS. I couldn't help it.
You gave him the option. It's your fault.
It's true. It is, but a good poll answers many questions if possible. So I feel like I'm getting the answer to a few questions, not just the one I.
There we go. All right, yeah.
Gentlemen, no, I'll let you take us out. Actually, I like that. Take us out. Take us out, Doctor.
Where am I going? I don't know where we're going.
Second star to the right and straight on
to the
morning. And live long and prosper, everybody. What is that?
What is that?
Oh, he has it. Look.
He has what? I can't see.
Sean, say something. That's the best way. Oh my gosh, Sean.
Was that a Christmas gift?
This is what will be attached next to my door. As you enter the room, you'll hear the sound of the TOS doors.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'll be able to press that if I want to signal someone and talk,
Oh, that's cool.
It also does the red alert. Wait a minute. It gets really obnoxious, the red alert. But
be sure to bring that with you.
It's not doing it, but whatever. Okay.
Be sure to bring that with
the red alert is annoying.
On your first episode of Drunk Space Nine, which if you guys will indulge me, I have a quick to the very small audience, but I love you that we have.
I have no time for this.
A little. What are you doing? Don't leave. Real quickly, Drunk Space Nine has been sucked into the Celestial Temple, and it's being swirled around in there, and some new things are happening, and the Prophets are going to relaunch it very soon. So stay tuned for more news on Drunk Space Nine. But in the meantime, you can listen to Rogue Drunk Space Nine by searching for Rogue Drunk Space Nine on iTunes or Google or whatever. It's starting to come up, and you can follow Drunk Space Nine 2 Part 2 on Twitter, and we look forward to to taking it to the next level.
It's
All right,
the
that's
same
it.
place as where he hosts. Just in case you're wondering, Doctor. Twitter.
This
Twitter. I must
Twitter.
explore
It's-
this world of
it-
Twitter.
There's so many of us on there.
The Doctor follows me low key on Twitter. I won't tell you how, but
I must explore this Twitter.
But we need the real
the world
Doctor.
of Twitter.
You must come to the Twitterverse. All right, everybody. See you next time.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.